she explained it all, and the buyer actually knew about it. They were not from this country. And she said, oh, we do that in our country the whole time. So she didn't really have to explain it all.
Very good. So, I actually got a couple of agents from R4, the Remax event, who asked if they could invite some of their peers. They're not in our company to attend our meetings because a lot of brokers are quiet. They don't know what to do. And that's the last thing I want to do is I don't want to be quiet. Rather be bold and incorrect at times than sit there and do nothing. And
Right.
hopefully I'm correct more times, a lot more times than I'm wrong.
Well, as you said, it's the media that's blowing it out of proportion that's really scaring buyers. So,
So, I have a change of perception there. And I really think if we get to the point where we use this as a gift, as an opportunity, as an excuse, talk to everybody, right? I think 70 or 80% of people are going to be empowered or at least grateful that we had the conversation that they didn't need to call us. And if there are 20% or 30% of people who are, soured by it, let's focus on the 70 to 80% that, are looking to do something in this particular environment. And this literally is our opportunity to differentiate ourselves from the competition. This is the time that we need
Rob,
to reach out. Go ahead.
This is Ryan. I just want to jump in real quick. We're starting a campaign on social media so that, we promote this new law going into effect. We're starting now, and we're posting it on LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, all the major social media sites. This way, when buyers ask for information about it, they'll have somewhat of education. So I think it's a good time, good thing that we should start doing it right now. Sorry, I'm driving and I'm trying to avoid traffic.
Right.
Can I jump in there?
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Bill Tyson. I heard when all this stuff was coming down several months ago that the entire state of Ohio has been doing it this way forever. So consequently, what I'm suggesting is that we check in with our friends in Ohio and see how they deal with it. I'm sure it's the norm. I'm sure, and I do hear that their buyer's agents are doing better than what we're doing with the cooperating agent commissions down here. So it's all positive in my world.
So so what you're saying, Bill, is there's a model for it. Maybe we should try to embrace and steal some best practices from somewhere where it's been commonplace.
Exactly.
Great idea.
The state of anybody in the state of Ohio.
Yeah, and Rob, New York's been doing this for a long time. I have someone on our team call Wednesday that's going to talk the team through how they've been doing it for, as long as they can remember. And our tactic now is everybody, every post I see by realtors says we're uncertain or hedging on, I don't know what's going to come from the law. I've told the entire team that the answer is, this thing's been going for 5 years. We're prepared and we have answers. It's not uncertain. There's no uncertain terms because we're going to figure it out. And we're telling them now we've got answers. We're not hedging because hedgers will be the ones that are going to be running out of the business.
I agree. Yeah. And Glenn, I'm guessing that you, as I see this as perhaps the opportunity of your short career, but maybe even the entirety of your career, this shift and being the first mover. I'm guessing.
Just like COVID, I said to the team, the real estate world just fell into our lap. That's exactly what I look at this as.
Wonderful.
And I do.
Go ahead.
And I do agree. We do have to continue talking about this. During the weekend, I was at a dinner party with people I didn't know, but one person did know I did real estate, and she brought the topic up while everybody was talking, and then next thing you know, everybody stopped, doing what they were doing and then started to listen. So, and I felt comfortable just being able to share what we know so far, so, and it really shows like our value proposition, and everybody was all ears just to listen, and nobody like disagreed, nobody tried to debate whatever I had said. So I thought that was really good.
So Fran, you were the subject matter expert, right?
Yes,
and
I was.
A big gift was given to you. And a lot of times people would, kind of cower in shame. And I think it's our time to, articulate, how this is going to benefit the consumer and how this helps us get closer to the consumer. Hey, Fred, how many people do we have on now? I can't see the list.
21.
Okay, I'm going to get started with my kind of my topic here, and it's strategies and tactics, basically to thrive in this new, in this ever-changing market. And I'm going to throw a lot of random thoughts at you, but the first thing I'm going to say is team leaders, we need to stop playing favorites, and we need to be a data-driven meritocracy. Okay, a data-driven meritocracy. And this goes back to, I'm a Giants football fan, and I remember we had some really good years, and then we had some really lean years. And anybody know who Bill Parcells is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so at least
Yeah,
in New
head
Jersey,
coach.
head coach of the Giants, right? They actually called him the Tuna.
Yep.
I'm not sure why they called him that. But I remember it was one of the years they came off the Super Bowl, and I think that they were running at like a 5-9 record or a 5-8 record, right? And one of the journalists, sports journalists, asked him, said, "Hey, Bill, it's another tough loss. You in your heart feel like you're one of the best 5-8 teams in the league, or do you feel you're better than your record?" He's like, "No, we're exactly what our record is." And to me, that really struck a chord, because there are a lot of things that come to my mind, which is, number one is, if you can get, 20% better in this business, are you going to get 20% more business, or you're going to get 2 to 3 times more business? And I think the answer is you're going to double or triple your business by having an improvement in yourself and your team, right? So if you get 1% better, it doesn't mean you do 1% more business or make 1% more income. You make a lot more income as you improve yourself. So basically the numbers don't lie.
I'm just probably coming a little slow.
So the numbers don't lie. Nobody in this business is luckier or unluckier than anybody else. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. That's what luck is. Okay, so if you haven't gotten lucky, you weren't prepared when the opportunity was before you. Okay. In terms of looking at, business, I think our industry, or maybe it's human nature. Is Nicole Barge, are you on?
Yes, I'm on.
Great. So Nicole, this is what I was thinking about from our conversation this weekend. So
Okay.
if somebody's not hitting the numbers that they want,
Damn it.
they want more opportunities. They want more leads. Okay. And if you're to look at somebody who wants to close, let's say somebody wants to close 20 transactions, would they want to get 2,000 Zillow leads and convert at 1%, or would they rather get 100 leads and convert at 20%? What do you think is easier for the agent? I pose that to you.
You said 100 at 20%, and what was the other number?
2,000 at 1%.
Guess 100 at 20%.
Right, because to try to manage 2,000 leads to close 20, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But if you had 100 and you close 20, are you lucky? No, you're just up your skill. So I think the mindset here, Nicole, is when agents are asking us as team leaders or as office managers, "Hey, I need more opportunity." A lot of times the opportunity is right in front of you. It's just a matter of you having the right process to handle that. And I think we take a lot of things for granted as well, such as even how to show a home, right? When you show a particular property, if you have an opportunity to engage with the listing agent even before you show it, if you have a process of, showing the home in a way, I don't know if Scott Kaplan, are you on? Maybe he's not, but Scott Kaplan had this really simple way that he was explaining it to one of his team members on how he works with buyers. I think he said he only shows them 5 properties, right? And he prints out the sheet and gives them the first sheet when they see it, gives them the second sheet and says, which one's better? Okay, this one's ahead of that one. show the next one, which one's better. And at the end of the showing, they know which one they're most interested in. And he's found that, 5 is something that they can manage. And he finds that, when he was in the showing game, that was a highly effective way to get people to have clarity and make a decision. I don't know if anybody's ever watched your clients or maybe even you show people 5 houses and you say, which one do you like the best? And, they're like a deer in the headlights. They don't really know how to make a decision. So simple things like, giving them clarity in what to do is really going to change the outcome that we have. Standardize your processes and procedures so that you can have constant and predictable results. Standardize your processes and procedures so you're going to have constant, predictable results. To the point of Fran, be a subject matter expert. I hope, Fran, when somebody at dinner or wherever you were when they brought up the lawsuit, you just glowed and were thrilled to talk about it. And I think that's the mindset we need to have on all of our conversations. And even if it's conversations that we don't know the answer to, instead of guessing our way out of an opportunity, it's okay to say, I'll get back to you instead of being awkward. As we look to build our offices and teams, I think we need to add some components that we look at strongly when we hire, and those things would be, hire to our culture, hire people that have characters that will fit into our culture, and most importantly, make sure that people that we bring are coachable. Because if they're not coachable, then what do you think becomes the most significant key to a relationship if somebody's not coachable and deriving value from our relationship? On the management side, the leadership side, we always talk about if somebody joins us for a higher split of money, they're going to leave us for what? A higher split of money. So if we can hire people that get value from our expertise and the systems that we put into place, then that's going to provide us with longevity, and it's going to provide us with a longer term return on the team members that we attract. It's going to give us a bigger tenure, and it's even going to make it more fun being in the business. It's a culture of winning. I'm going to go. I'm going to go back a couple episodes to when Tom Toole was here. Does anybody remember what Tom Toole measured with his team members and his own sales activity? This should be second nature. Nobody? Fred, you guys can hear me, right?
Yep.
Recruitment, conversations, and appointments.
So it's conversations, appointments, listings, conversations, appointments, hires. Those are the things that we need to measure, right? I mean, for the people on your team, Glenn, those are really the only things, right? It could be phone calls. It could be in your environment, your culture. It could be social media conversations that lead to real conversations, that lead to appointments, that lead to listings and sales, correct?
Ours
there's nothing else that
conversations,
Go ahead.
appointments set. A conversation is a conversation if it's a social or on the phone to us.
right, but you at some point you probably need to have a physical conversation to make the appointment, right?
You'd be surprised, but that's why we classify it as a conversation, right?
And I did anticipate that, Glenn, and I do also think that to the social media expertise you have, don't neglect the conversation piece, because a lot of times either it comes to a conversation before the appointment, or until you can get a social media listing without having to talk to them. I think we need to embrace improving our conversation skills. So anyway, those are the things that as a team leader we need to be leaning into. We need to be aware that a culture is a culture, and if you allow people to violate the culture, one might argue that you really don't have the culture you profess to have. So if you say, hey, our culture is one of, we're hunters, we're prospectors, we do these activities, and then if you have one or two people that don't, that can drag the culture down. And I know a lot of you have exited people who have had inconsistent cultures from your brand, or your business. Quality over quantity is one of the things that I want you to leave today with, and I want you to think about the concept of me giving you 2,000 leads and trying to close 20 from 2,000 versus breaking that down to 100 leads and finding a strategy to close 20 of those 100 by having better engagement, better skills, better follow-up for sure, and you're constantly improving your skill set. Because at some point, I think it's ridiculous, and everybody would understand that giving somebody 2,000 leads in a year would probably be not only beyond where it's giving a positive return, it would probably give you a negative return because you're overwhelmed. You can't remember who you spoke to. And the nature of a real estate agent is more. If I'm not hitting my numbers, you give me more leads, and you can literally drown somebody with opportunity if they don't have the skills and you don't manage that intake. So I think that's something that I learned the hard way when I used to overlead people with opportunities. Even I forget the gentleman who I heard on a podcast, but he said, you, me, and then we. You, me, and then we. And what he meant by that was you have to inspect what you expect. You have to give somebody the skills and then the roadmap. But then at some point, you have to observe what they're doing. And as a team leader, going out on some of the appointments, listening in to the calls, they're going to be enlightening. I don't know if that's going to be frightening enlightening, scary enlightening, but has anybody ever taken some time to listen to one of their current or ex team members and how they engage with people, how they represent our brand, and have been, underwhelmed? Anybody care to share about that? Nobody? How about here's a real low resistance way of doing an inspection is to look at the last 3 offers that they emailed out and see what they look like. Look at how the contract was written. Look at just look at the format of the email when they submitted it. Ask them what did they do, before submitting the offer, upon submitting the offer, as a follow-up to the offer. I think you'd be, in some cases, frightened by how that goes. And Glenn, how long ago was that you shared it with us, the video attachment or the embedded video in the offer? Is that about 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago, or more?
Actually, 4 months, yeah.
How many? 4?
4, yeah.
So 4 months ago. Now on this call, please, have you implemented including video with your offers, if anybody? And I'm not being critical here. I just want to identify how slow the industry moves, and then to think about on your listings how many of those offers came with the video, right? And Fred, how many do we have on now?
24.
24. So there's nobody's sent a embedded video or any video with an offer in out of the 22 others. I mean, to me, that's opportunity for us.
Yeah, the
Somebody do it?
videos are, the video that, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the videos
can
are a
hear
great
you.
idea. I mean, when Glenn was sharing that with us, I thought that was real good. It just depends on, like our last deal that we just had, a buyer lead that we sold a house to. We knew the agent and they knew me, so that made a big difference. So there's certain circumstances when you have a buyer and you're working with an agent you don't know. That's where I think the video comes into play. That's my opinion.
So Ron, can I push back a little bit on that?
Sure.
I think once you have a system and a process, you don't even need to think about it. Okay, and
Yeah.
thinking about whether you're going to do a video or not, it
No, I get
provides
it. I
some
get what you're saying.
it provides some inconsistency, and it's like
Yeah.
you never want to second guess whether arriving on time, dressing appropriately, having a proper preparation is gonna
system.
cost you a piece of business, right? So like if you always
Yeah.
prepare for a listing and you don't say, hey, this is my past customer, I'm gonna take it for granted, you might not know that maybe their
Right.
nephew just got licensed, right? So
Right,
I just think
exactly.
that the less thinking we do, the better off our numbers are gonna land. And I appreciate you sharing that, Ron. And you're one of the ones that volunteer, so I'm not being critical. I just wanted to outline that I would like to see it be automatic, and I'd like to see everybody on your team have a template in their. Hopefully, most of us are using Gmail. You can create a Gmail template, right? And you can have, hey, dear blah, please present an offer on this property. Just put the property address in. If you're using the same attorney and the same lender, you can have them in there. And if they use somebody differently, you just change it. They're putting down X%. They're going to close on this date. We'd like to do our home inspection on that date. It's presumptive. It's positive that you accompany that with a video email. It definitely sets it apart. And if they're lazy, like Glenn suggested, I'm certain of it. They're just forwarding that with the video email, and the customer, the seller, is not going to get many video emails. They're probably going to be intrigued by it and actually watch it, and it's going to differentiate us. So
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
We almost get a
Being
we almost get a
consistent.
thumbs up. Sorry,
Glenn,
I was just going to say we almost get a thumbs up every single time because they are allowed to do that on the video, and then you'll see it a day later with another thumbs up, and you know exactly who it is, right? Like it's the client. And to your point, Rob, we have a rule that we say don't skip a step, so no one can skip the step. And one of the other steps is peer review. No offer goes out with one set of eyes on it. Even if it's a 5-minute quick cursory review to make sure that we're giving the right impression. So the team members team up with others. We put it on our Slack chat and say who can review an offer so that no one has that going out, because I've gotten some really bad presentations of offers lately. So that's a
right?
differentiator. But on the video front, Rob, when you in New Jersey at least, it would be unheard of to get a large seller concession to win in this market right now. And on Friday, I won one with a full concession of 18 grand on top of a 3.5% down payment on a home that was extremely competitive. There's 9 other offers because of the video. I was able to explain how the 203K and them buying new kitchen appliances gave them a 10% override on the appraisal, and that gave comfort to the person. So it's not just putting out the facts; it's selling your deal like you're in front. I act like I'm in front of the client, and winning that is like it tells you video works.
So Glenn, in many
Hey,
of our
Glenn.
markets in New, go ahead, Ron.
Do you use the QR code for a video? Can you do that, or you just have a template on your email?
I actually embed the video. I use Dub. I used to use BombBomb. I suggest one of the two though.
Okay.
Hey, Fred, did you
Because we-
inquire? Fred, did you inquire about what's that one? That's something HQ that we talked about. That's got a free version of video email.
Yes. Cloud HQ.
Cloud HQ. Is that a viable solution for budget friendly investments?
Yes, but a bit tedious to set up, but yes.
Okay, so it's a money, we'll have the time. I'll get the next segment. We'll do it that way. And Glenn, let me ask you, in the past 2 years, what has your team volume done? Like from 2021, which was a banner year, to 2023?
When you
You
say
know, are you
volume,
up
number of transactions?
20, are you up 20%, 50%, 100%, the number of transactions?
Number of transactions. So 2021
Just-
was
Yeah, just
92.
roughly.
Yeah,
yeah.
92. 2022. I think last year we closed out at 151 transactions.
So you're up by more than 60% when the market's down over 40%.
Yeah.
And, I think that, I don't think that, I mean, I'm not saying you're not a lucky person, but I don't attribute any of that to luck. I attribute it to process. Would you agree?
Don't skip a step.
Yeah, don't skip a step. So, and Glenn, you're very process oriented. Have you ever like had one where you, in your career, you've kind of taken something for granted and maybe didn't prepare as much and you lost the deal?
I don't think I personally have, because I'm a chronic over preparer, but I think some team members certainly have.
Because I think, I think of opportunities where like it's a past client and somebody gets an opportunity, they just take it for granted that they're getting the business. And that's a cardinal sin. I mean, why are you going to skip steps on the people that trust you the most, right?
Yeah.
Like a surgeon,
100%.
would you want them to take a shortcut because they did open heart surgery before? Yeah, hell no. You want them to, to be him or her to be up for the game. You want them to be better because they've worked with you before. They want to know that you understand how they like to be communicated with, not take for granted anything.
If
So
anything, should
yeah,
be
I
more
hope that
invested in them, right, Rob?
I think so. But looking around, Glenn, how much of the business that you take, is it from people who bought a home with somebody else and they probably never even called them, or maybe they did call them and you earned the business?
Yeah. We actually we actually market to the homes that were on the list side. Once the buyer representation is complete, we market to them. And last year we had 4 deals just from marketing to the ones that purchased our properties on the buy side.
Right, because their agent most likely orphaned them, right? Forgot about them.
Yep.
And that goes back to processes and procedures. So, look, we're a couple minutes over. I'll stay on for more questions, but no matter what level you're at, don't skip steps, and don't take anything for granted, and really put a lot of mind space into the fact that if you were to give agents what they wanted, it's like giving a dog, like overfeeding a dog. It would just keep eating until it gets so sick and dies because it just chomps down all the food. An agent's gonna want more and more leads before they follow up and appropriately take care of the leads that they have and improve their skills. And a data-driven meritocracy is the fairest way to run a business. There's no favoritism. I gave Mark, Mary, Andrea, and Angela all 100 leads, and to Bill Parcells' point, however many you close, it's not luck. You own that record. That's yours. Maybe on 3 leads, you might get lucky, but on 100, you're gonna own those results. And if you're not getting the result you want, don't say I need more leads. Say I need to get better at how I'm handling my leads. And that's my final thought. And I think it's going to be empowering for agents that are clamoring for us to spend more money to give them opportunities to squander. Any other thoughts?
What was that again? You cut out a little bit. Repeat that.
I said, was this helpful?
Yes, it was. Yes.
For you and your team?
Yes, it's helpful to change the mindset.
Nicole
hear-
gets credit for the topic today. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
So Nicole gets credit for today's content. If you don't like it, all complaints to Nicole Barge.
Thank you for taking my call.
Always. And you know, I just hope that we, you know, don't do the popular thing. We do the right thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's easy to acquiesce. It's tough to say that, you know, you need to come in the office more. You need to improve your skills, right?
And I think you're right.
And, sometimes, go ahead.
I'm like, I don't have good reception. It just seems like it's coming in and out. But I get your point. I did observe yesterday one of my agents, and I did see something. So, or I did get, well, that person's not responding to me. And then when I did it my way, I got the person to respond to me right away and got appointment out of it. So maybe that's one thing I have to look also. So thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Any last comments before we wrap up today and have an awesome week? All right. Fred, you'll process the recording. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. And if you have anything you want to hit me offline, just send me a text or reach out to me like Nicole. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.